Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Alison, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the importance of drinking water with eczema, and especially in weather like this. We're very lucky. It's a bright hot sunny day and I'm looking forward to being out in the sun as much as possible. But before I even talk about water, let's just mention sunscreen. So you probably see I'm not wearing any makeup. What I am doing is wearing lots of sunscreen, which is why my skin is grey looking. I'm using natural sunscreen with zinc oxide. So remember that when it comes to eczema, as per my other previous videos, natural is best, fragrance free is best. But now, without further ado, let's talk about water. Now before I forget, I'm also going to say, remember to like, subscribe, share, comment and hit that notification. So water, and why is it so important? Now first of all, water is important because our bodies are made up mainly of water. So for those with eczema and dry skin conditions, you will notice that your skin gets very dry. So water is very important, both what we put in our bodies and what we put on our bodies. But today, or specifically on this video, I'm going to be addressing what we put into our bodies, in other words, into our mouths. So to begin with, we're going to look at how much water you should be drinking, especially for those with dry skin conditions like myself or my children, or you, like eczema, and even like adult acne or hormonal acne, psoriasis, just anything like that, rosacea, again not dry skin condition, but it's just an issue with your skin. You want to be looking at water as a way of hydrating yourself, and what is important is the quantity of water. Now, I know you get told by your doctors and other people out there in the health industry to drink between 1.5 to 2 litres of water a day. But when it comes to having dry skin conditions, you want to be drinking more. Now, there's a few different little tricks you can try. They're not cheats, they're ways of getting you to drink more. So the first thing I do is, the night before I go to bed, I have 2 pint glasses beside my bed. Now for you guys, depending on what you like, it can be still water, or what I tend to do is I will put a little bit of lemon juice, normally for the freshly squeezed organic lemons, or you can actually buy bottles of organic lemon juice as well. So I'll put about the equivalent of about half a squeezed lemon juice, and also 3 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar in there as well, and that's normally the organic apple cider vinegar. And in fact, I drink so much of that through the day to day. I actually buy a large 5 litre container, and so I have 2 of those beside my bed. When I wake up in the morning, I drink one straight away, whether by alarm clock or waking up naturally. I drink one straight away. If I'm still thirsty straight away, if I don't feel too full, I will drink the other one straight away as well, because I then have to wait 40 minutes. I have to rinse my mouth out with some water, wait 40 minutes to brush my teeth. If drinking 2 pints in one go is too much, I'll wait about 15 minutes maximum and then drink the second one, and I still have to wait that 40 minutes, 45 minutes before brushing my teeth. Now, the other thing that I do is through the day, I will probably drink 2 or 3 more of these pint glasses. I believe about 5 pints of water is the equivalent of just I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll have a look on the phone in a little while and I'll let you know. I'm sure that my measurements are terrible, but it could be about 2 litres of water, 5 pints, about 2 litres could be. So I drink about 5 of these through the day. So that's 2 in the morning, and then 1 an hour later, and then at least 2 more through the day. Now, a couple of cheats for you. Now, I get bored of plain water, so I'll either repeat what I did in the morning, which is to have some lemon juice and apple cider vinegar with a pint of water. Because I actually like the taste of that flavour, not everyone does, I also have it with fizzy water as well. Now I know fizzy water isn't fantastic to drink all the time, but look, it's not a pop because you haven't added any actual sugars to it. It's not off the shelf sweet drink, it's just fizzy water, and I know it's been played around with, but if you're someone who doesn't like water, it's a compromise, isn't it? So I tend to have probably 1 fizzy water through the day, sometimes 2 if I'm feeling like a rebel on the weekend. And then other than that, today I've been drinking tamarind juice. So I've not bought this online before. I know you can buy it as a paste, but my mother bought her tamarind in little solid packets from her local shop, and I was given one of those, and I soaked it through the night with distilled water, which we'll talk about in a moment. I then got rid of the seeds and I blended it with the water it was soaked in. I then strained it, and then I've been adding that to the fizzy water or the still water through the day. Again, just be wary of how much juices you add to the water because it's not good for your enamel all the time. Now, I was told by a friend and colleague of mine also another way to drink water is if you have a juicing machine and you can do your own apple juice, for example, you can put that in the water and then do still water the rest of the way. If you haven't got your own juicing machine, you can actually buy, but I don't know where, because I've never done it myself, you can buy pressed apple juice. Again, not the concentrated version and not the stuff from supermarkets because it's already been massively processed. So it's a good thing to be on the lookout for that. Now, the other thing I do is I have one of these bottles. This holds just under 2 litres and it actually has, I'll get it on the screen for you, it has the time of day and the amount of water. So as you fill it to the top, it goes down in sections and then you can refill it again. It just gets to make sure you're drinking plenty of water. That's all it does. And then a last cheat is if you're drinking non-caffeinated herbal or fruit teas, another good way of getting water into your system as well. You can also, if you want to cheat, add a little bit of locally produced honey. Now remember, when it comes to honey, if you add it to something boiling, you kill all the antibodies in there. So wait till the tea has cooled down slightly before you then add the honey and drink it. I tend to drink my drinks quite quickly, so probably every hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, I'll just knock back a pint. I say pints, I'm British, but for you guys, I guess just over half a litre. Otherwise, do your best to sip it through the day. But you will find the more you do this, the thirstier you're going to find. Because if you don't drink regularly, your body is already dehydrated before you even feel it. So for those that get regular headaches, what you'll find, if it's a dehydration headache, that means your brain has shrunk by up to 10%. When you start drinking again, the brain is revived really. So that will also help with concentration levels through the day. Now, being realistic as a mother of 2 children, I know how very, very hard it can be to get your children to drink water. My daughter, 14 years old, drinking water, not a problem. She guzzles it down in bottles, not an issue at all. My son, however, it's been a journey and a half getting him to drink any fluids at all. And he's the one with the actual eczema issues. So what I do for him, even though it's not an ideal world and it's not a perfect solution, but he has a bottle which we add a little bit of cordial to, and I'm saying cordial, it sounds posh, but then you've got squash. Squash tends to have synthetic flavours, synthetic colours, and lots of awful preservatives and just all these different things in there that if you knew what they were doing to your child, you wouldn't give it to them regardless. So I tend to buy cordials. Now cordials predominantly made up of sugar and the actual juices they've come from. And so what my son tends to have is a cordial, a little bit in here. For example, if it was this bottle, you get this much cordial and this much water. That is our compromise. And also, what I find is that when he's at school, he only gets a chance to drink that one bottle. Sometimes it comes home as well. It hasn't all been finished. So what I need to do as soon as he gets home is to be like militant mother and actually just make sure he gets a drink straight away. He does cheat, he does go straight for the oat milk rather than the water-based drink. So I do make sure he has both. So he can have the milk straight after he's had his water-based drink. Another thing he has started drinking recently, which he really enjoys, but I have to minimise it because it does have a little bit of sugar in there, is kefir. Kefir is a naturally sparkling drink, which is fantastic actually because it's a fermentable drink, which means it's a probiotic, and it's actually a natural probiotic which you can put into the stomach and it helps the gut flora. So it's not water, but it's obviously water-based, but it's been fermented and it has really, really good probiotic properties in there. Fantastic for the gut, which it means then good for the skin. So that's water for the children, that's water for me, water for you, and how much to drink through the day. So I would say aim to drink more than 2 litres a day. If you're new to it, then build it up slowly, but not too slowly. And just do your best to keep away from all those sugary drinks because they are your enemy. So that leads us on now to the quality of the water you are drinking. Now you might not think the quality is important, but when you realise what is actually in the water you are drinking, you will realise very, very quickly, like I did, just how important the quality is. Now, you've got a few options here. Based in England or somewhere like the States, Australia, wherever, if you are lucky enough to have drinkable tap water, then yes, do consider yourself lucky because there's lots of people out there who haven't even got access to that. But if you do have tap water, you need to understand that it isn't as clean as you think it is. And for some eczema sufferers, tap water is triggering off, or at least one of the multifactional things that can be triggering off their eczema. Now, what do I mean? This is spring water. So for those who buy bottled water, you get spring water or mineral water. Not good for the environment to be in plastic. The actual plastic from the bottle can leach, the chemicals can leach into the water itself. So what do you do if you're not going to drink bottled water? You can drink tap water, which you can filter. Now, the reason you filter this is to take out some of the toxins that are in the water or the dirt and things like that. However, tap water doesn't actually get rid of things like the hormones that are in the water. The hormones are in there from when the actual waste system cleans the water, it can't clean everything. So it's worth remembering that. So for women that are on the contraceptive pill, for animals, for any reason that water, the sewage water goes into the system and it can't be cleaned, you are drinking that water. Filter water doesn't necessarily clean that either. I'm talking about the jugged water, which I'll show you in a little while. Now, the only way around that is then to go for distilled water. It has its pluses and it has obviously its downsides as well. With distilled water, you actually put tap water into a tank, you steam it, and you then, all the little droplets from the distilled water then become like a distilled / purified water. You can then drink that. The only problem with this is it completely strips everything, whether good or bad, from the water. Now, that's a compromise, I guess you could say. That's what I do. The only way to fix that is to put minerals back into the water, and I do that by using either pink Himalayan salt or the Celtic salt. Two good ways of putting the water back in. But you've got to gauge it yourself to make sure you're not putting too much salt in there, because you only want the smallest amount to add minerals back into the water. So you've got a few choices, like I said. You can either switch to drinking bottled water, mineral or spring, because you obviously then you know it's not coming from the runoff into the sewage system, which is, the water is recycled. You can either drink tap water, but obviously when you drink tap water, you do know that you're going to be getting things like hormones in there, which will affect your eczema. You can use a filter jug. You can filter your tap water, but you're still going to get some things in there. And if you're someone who doesn't like fluoride in your water, most filter jugs don't strip the actual fluoride out of the water either. Your other option then is to go distilled. The machines are, well, they start from over £100 and they can go to the thousands. But for home use, the machine I purchased was about £130. I'm going to go over there now and show you. So this is my water filter. It doesn't look like anything special, but it's fantastic. It strips all the dirt, all the nastiness away from and out of the tap water. It's really simple to use. I actually got this one on Amazon, so I was completely clueless about which one to buy. So I've read a lot of reviews. This one I'm sure was about £130, but I'll double check. It's by a company called DC House. Really simple to use. It has a water tank. Let's pull this off. So around the back, that goes in here when this is on. I'm going to pull this off. Put that here. And as you can see, it's been used. The water goes in here. There's a full sign here. You fill it up with normal tap water. Here is where you can put the carbon filter. I'm not going to pull this off, but the filter goes in here. These are the filters. You can buy them with any brand, but these are carbon filters. And if you were to use them every day, each one of these bags can last for about 3 months. Now, I only use my tank probably on average twice a week. Okay, because the children don't love the taste of the distilled water, so I mix it with the filtered jug water. Once you fill the tank, you put this back on, put it on the correct one, and then you have a glass jug. Now, not all of them come with glass jugs. Some of them come with plastic jugs. I'm just going to grab this glass jug, one I prepared earlier. So the tank is empty, the jug is empty. This little nozzle means the water just strips straight through there, so no dirt can get in where the gap is here. Just slide it up. On the back, there's another plug. I have some right over here. This goes in the back, so you've got two actual sockets. You turn it on, and the back there's a little switch, and then you can hit the reset button. And that is it. It takes about 4 hours, so you can leave it through the day and through the night because it switches itself off automatically. And it fills almost pretty much to the top of the glass jug. When I'm making products, I probably fill this about 4 times because again, this is the kind of water you use when you're making skincare products. You're not supposed to use tap water until you've actually distilled it. So that is the main reason I actually bought it. I bought it for my skincare products, but then started consuming it or drinking it even. And the other thing I do, I found an empty jar. I filled half of this jar with Celtic, I'm not sure how you pronounce this, Celtic sea salt halfway up, and then I put distilled water in the other half. And I've actually reminded myself, I actually prepared this on the 19th of July 2020, and I think today's the 12th of June 2021, so that tells you how long this water lasts for. You don't, for an actual jug this size, I would probably add about once, because I'd literally take some of the spoon, some of the water, and the actual water from a jug this size is probably about 1 or 2 tablespoons, and that is it. It's really that simple. So now that I've shown you my distilling machine, it's worth noting that as well as distilling machines for home use, you can actually get filtration systems that you actually get put into your plumbing of your kitchen. They are expensive, but they are probably worth the money if it's a long-term investment. They tend to only be in the kitchen if it's for drinking. That's my son, I apologise. He's singing in the background. So apologies, I'm back to water and the kitchen systems. So filtration systems are expensive, and they are specifically for the actual kitchens where you get your water from. They completely strip the water of anything rubbish that's in there, and they add the minerals back in themselves. You haven't got to worry about putting them back in with salts. Definitely something worth looking at. I will have a look to see if I can find one for you. I don't have one myself, though I'd love one, which is why I don't have the information at hand. That leads us on to which water is best for you. Now, when it comes to this has got to be completely and utterly of your own choice, really. It's going to be trial and error on what your own preferences are. You see me play with my face quite a lot. It's pollen in the air. I do have a little bit of a hay fever, tend to go for the eyes, but hey, it's compromise being in the garden, isn't it? So when it comes to preferences of water, now at my own family home, we mix it all up. I specifically do not and never will drink tap water straight from the tap. I do use filtered water from the jug. I do use distilled water, which I create myself in the garage, and I also use bottled water when I'm out and about. This is a glass bottle, and the reason I use glass is, number one, the water tastes better, but number two, when you use plastic bottles, there is that chance I mentioned to you of the actual chemicals on the plastic. Depending on how old the bottles are, the actual chemicals from the bottle can leach into the water. So even if you're doing your best when it comes to drinking lots of water, you could be drinking lots of chemicals. So where possible, have glass, or make sure if you buy bottled water from the shop, that the out of date on there isn't too close to where you are at. It should be at least a year on there, because believe it or not, many plastic water bottles can be on the shelf up to 2 years. I'm not even kidding. Again, I prefer glass bottles, but I've been through a few of these, so they do break if you drop them, obviously with it being glass. So I tend to have the water bottles that are glass in my car and in and around the house. When I go to the gym, I do have the BPA-free water bottles, which are plastic. I hope you found this interesting, and remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, and hit that notification. The next video will talk about water on the skin, so make sure you keep an eye out for that notification. Bye for now, and I'll see you on the next video.